Let's bring in Ramona Shelburne, ESPN senior insider, and my dear friend Ramona. It's the craziest week of your year, and you took time for me. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
you're kind of a draw, Tony. That was a pretty quick
You're a
yes.
draw with my kids. I'm a draw with your kids, but that's our entire audience right there. Momo, you had to feel you were being punked and spoofed as well, right, when this happened?
I'll tell you this. I had gone to bed the night before thinking, well, it was one of those nights where I have to sleep with my phone like right next to my head,
Mhm.
waiting for a call in the morning, right? Like literally like I'll take my phone and I'll put it like right here because
Oh, my
I knew
goodness.
I was gonna get calls like very early in the morning. And I'd known the night before that something big was happening, but even I didn't believe it. Like when I got the
Yeah.
first tip, literally somebody said, "Are you sitting down?" and and I was
All
like,
right,
"What?"
we're
And
doing this
I
one. Who died? Yeah.
what? Like, I mean, look, I'm gonna take you inside the like real reality of it. Um, Yesterday was my second grader's first day of school. We were hosting some family. Like I had done a big dinner for everyone.
Of
We were
course.
just kind of
That is
winding down the
so
night.
Momo. It's so Momo. How did you confirm it, though? I mean, honestly, I need to know how it came. I
Yeah.
can't get past how this came together in 3 days. All right. I mean, I can't go shopping online in 3 days. And this is like, I went shopping online and I bought the Bellagio. I mean, what is this?
Yeah. Um, I think it really is that like it's think of it like you're buying a house, okay? You go put an offer down on one house, and then all of a sudden, while you're like, out, you're still in escrow, or they've accepted your offer, but there's still a closing period. You're down the street, your neighbor's house comes available. You're like, oh well, shoot, I'd much rather have that house. So the money's already in order, the bank's already approved, the loans are in order, everything's fine. And I think that's kind of what happened here, which is they're buying an expansion team.
That's
They were
why Kushner and
way
Iger could
down
buy
the
it. But why were they sold? Why did
yeah,
Walter sell? I mean, please, if you can, separate
yeah.
fact from fiction.
So I think that Mark is a savvy businessman. I think what we all do the math because we're people. We don't have billions, okay? And we think, oh, he bought for 10, he sold for 12 and a half. He made 2.5 billion, but he actually is going to make closer to four. I think when this is all said and done, because you forget he bought the first shares of the Lakers at a $5 billion valuation. So 26% of his shares
Mhm.
were at a $5 billion valuation, right? So it's going to be that's a gigantic financial windfall. And I think the background of the DOJ investigation
Mhm.
obviously plays a role here. It's why Josh Kushner and Bob Iger thought maybe we should place a call, shoot your shot, right? Like they can read headlines. They see somebody who's dealing with the feds right now and who's dealing with an investigation. And sometimes when you're in the middle of investigation, there's a benefit to being a little more liquid in terms of how things might
Yeah.
need to move around. So these are savvy businessmen who saw somebody who's in the middle of something and figured they would place a call and see if that would make sense.
That's it. It was one call we went from expansion, Las Vegas to let's get the Lakers. And it
It
turns
started with one
around in 3
call,
days. Yeah.
yeah, over the weekend.
Mm.
Um, and Actually, it was two calls because the first call, Mark was like, the team's not for sale. And then he thought about it a little longer and they called him back and they offered a little bit more. It wasn't a lot more, but it was a little bit more. And he had already, now the seed had been planted
Mhm.
and he was amenable to it. And they also, it had to be literally, he had to give an answer in a day. Like this, they
Had to?
needed to know because otherwise they're going to go back to they were going to
Uh,
go back to the expansion process, right? Like you're buying one house and your neighbor's house comes available,
maybe.
right?
I have to ask you
So,
this, Ramona.
yeah.
Bill Plaschke column,
Uh-huh.
our dear friend. Too many questions, not enough answers. Lakers sale doesn't pass smell test. What questions do you have?
I want to know if the Dodgers I don't think they're for sale, but I know that when one billionaire calls another and he sells something unexpectedly, there's going to be more people that call, right? Um, clear, like I'll put it this way. Mark Walter did not go into the weekend intending to sell the Lakers, right? He didn't. And there was Brian Windhorst, my colleague, he likes to say actions over words. So the actions of the Lakers this summer, the actions of the Lakers very recently, and Mark Walter's team have been about building something in LA, about building the Lakers out. And they signed people to 4-year deals, right? They've been hiring people. They've been Dodgerizing everything. This is not the actions of somebody who was like looking to sell. However, there's this thing in the background that I think it was an interesting variable I want to do the timing on this because I think it's really important. This investigation has been going on since last September, before he even bought the Lakers. Okay. The Lakers, there had been a purchase in place, but the sale had not been approved until October. So like, I know it all seems like, we all read the stories the last few months. It's something obviously he and his company have been dealing with for a year, essentially. But this has been going on a long time, and they had been operating as somebody who was building something in LA. But if somebody at one moment when he ran the math, and he did the figures and he goes, wow, that's a hell of a valuation. And it's almost, for him personally, it's about almost $4 billion windfall based off of where he bought his shares at.
I get that part of the money. I don't get the timeline.
Yeah.
I don't get so much else. What do Lakers fans need to know about the future of this team today?
Whew. That's a really good question, Tone. They've been building something and doing something new. So now all of a sudden, how much of the building process is going to continue? Like, it's like we just swap contractors. I mean, I guess I'm big on the metaphors today, but so they've been Dodgerizing it. Andrew Friedman's been talking to Rob Pelinka, and Farhan Zaidi's been in the front office as Mark's representative. And okay, what's going to happen now? What happens they hired 5 or 6 people that are pretty senior executives. What happens now? Like, are Bob Iger and Josh Kushner, are they going to keep those people? Are they going to hire all new people? Like, it's very I don't know yet. And I don't think they know yet, right? I think my instinct is you don't pay $12.5 billion for a franchise like this and let someone else run it.
Right. So the question is, who's going to run the team? It still gets back to Kushner and Iger for you?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, look, Bob Iger's, he was our boss at ESPN for a long time, Disney. And he's got some time on his hands. I don't think he's going to be like the GM. I think he'll be the CEO, and he'll probably hire a president and a GM and all these guys. But he's got time to do this. Josh Kushner, obviously, he's a young man. He's 41. Yeah. He lives here in Los Angeles. Like, he's, clearly he has an interest in sports, and it's not just an investment interest. So I think they'll be very involved, but it's going to take a couple months for this to maybe be approved by the rest of the owners. So season starts, everything is business as usual for now until it's not. It's a very,
any
interesting
inkling
time.
that it might not go through? Well, what is the success rate there? Yeah.
Just I haven't got any sense of that. I think the rest of the owners obviously have to like what their, the sale price, like that just made their property values go up, right?
That's the question I want to ask you. And you can only answer one. In the last 24 hours, maybe, who's reached out to you? Who do you think has told you they've been most surprised? NBA owners, NBA league office, Lakers players, Lakers fans? Iger and Kushner, that they were surprised?
I got a lot of calls I got calls and texts yesterday from a lot of ownership level people.
Yeah.
Going, what the hell?
Yeah.
That was literally the reaction of like, whoa.
You had one incredibly successful television series on one Los Angeles basketball team. I think it's time to get the writing back up again for another very successful TV series. This has got made for TV written all over it. Can I ask you about Russell Westbrook, Ramona Shelburne?
Sure.
I believe you've covered him for a considerable amount of time, both in NBA and college. Did you cover him in high school? Do I have this right as well?
I didn't know him in high school, but I was there his freshman year at UCLA.
Did Russell Westbrook retire in his own terms?
I guess, like in a way, he did. I think he had some offers and minimum level offers
Mhm.
again. I don't know that he wanted to go play for like the worst team in the league again for a minimum. Uh, his last 5, 6 years are certainly not befitting of a Hall of Fame player of his caliber, right? Bouncing around and,
Mhm.
the thing in LA didn't work out with LeBron, and then he sort of bounced around to Denver. That year was actually pretty good for him in terms of wins and losses, but the final year in Sacramento, that was just a kind of a throwaway. But I think when you look back on somebody's career, you sort of forget the ending. Like it's like the Wizard years for Jordan. Like I'll just remember his athleticism, his desire, his ferocity
Mm.
on the court.
Mm.
Like that's a word that comes to mind
Yeah.
when I see him. Um, Intensity. I remember him as this just little freshman at UCLA. He wasn't, he wasn't recruited, but he had so much fire in him. He just made himself into the player he was by that effort and fire that he put out every single
A
second.
career with an interesting ebb and flow, though, from the
Yeah.
triple-double MVP year with incredible acclaim,
Yeah.
and then there was almost a correction of appreciation for him. Did NBA fans appreciate him enough? Was there an overcritical view of him when leagues started to look in a more efficiency-based statistical eye?
Mhm.
Hmm. And is that fair?
I agree with you. I actually think fans appreciate Westbrook more than the what do you want to call it? The analytics crowd,
Mhm.
that level of analysis, maybe the media too. Fans really like
Mhm.
Westbrook. Everywhere I went, I would always, I've covered him a lot. I covered him in those Oklahoma City years, in Denver, obviously, with the Lakers, with the Rockets. I mean, he was like a very popular player, and especially live and in person, but also online. Like, I think fans respond to heart, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
That's my
yeah, I
feeling
respond to
about
it
players. Like
specifically, yeah.
I respond to heart.
Mhm.
You feel that guy. Like I'll never forget when he was with the Nuggets and he came back to Oklahoma City and he just won them a playoff game. Do you remember that game
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Oklahoma City? The fans they gave him a standing ovation when he's on the rival team in the middle of the playoffs, and they gave him a standing ovation. I was like, that is the ultimate sign of respect. And I really think it's just because he wore his heart on his sleeve for so many years. They appreciated it.
Okay, one more question for you, Momo, and you've been so
Yeah.
gracious with your time in the busiest week of your year. Last time I saw you
I
was
got party voice after
I
yesterday.
know. Last time I saw you was maybe the day before the redecision, or a
Mhm.
couple days, and you were prepping for it. It's a month later. LeBron leaving the Lakers. Mutual decision, or was it led by one side in your eye?
I think the seeds of that were sown last year. I think in talking to people on both sides, I think it was we all had talked ourselves into this idea that the Lakers could bring him back because he bought into that third banana roll. But I don't think he ever really wanted that. I don't think he I think that was just something he made the best of. And also they paid him $52 million last year. So I think he just kind of, I think he played it out, but I don't think he was ever going to come back on those terms in that role.
Ramona Shelburne, thank you for giving us the time and the last voice that you have in your body. You're very gracious and wonderful. We love you, Ramona. Thank you very much. That's Ramona Shelburne, of course, ESPN's senior NBA insider.